Is there anyone in this country who does not think that you should pay your fair share of taxes? Because the way that I look at that statement, and correct me if I'm wrong, is people are fed up with the rich in this country not paying their taxes. It's not that they should not pay taxes, it's that they're dodging the taxes. They find loopholes. They're not paying taxes. So people want them to pay their fair share of taxes.
I agree with you, but I love the fact that she trolled the right and upset a lot of Trump supporters, because every time we piss off a Trump supporter, an angel gets their wings. So she made a lot of angels at that dinner. Look, she did it to troll people. Clearly she made that choice. There was some on the left that got upset. I think that was misplaced. Those on the right upset, too bad. She wants to tax the rich. You can be a democratic socialist and go to this event. You're using it as a platform. She looked great. I'm a big fan of AOC.
But you guys on the left, you're the snowflakes. You're the ones that get triggered very easily.
Yes. I'm in a safe space right now, and I can only do the show in a safe space. If I went to the dinner, I would have had on my jacket would have said, "We'll tell jokes for money." That's what it said on my jacket if I went there.
Howard, I want to get your thoughts on something that I actually think deserves a little bit of praise here at the Met Gala. You got Formula One driver Lewis Hamilton purchasing a table at the event, which would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Obviously, he is perhaps the most famous F1 Formula race car driver in the history of the sport, certainly in this current modern era. He used his platform, he bought the tickets, and he gave all the tickets to emerging black designers, essentially literally giving them a seat at the table. Is that a better way to make a political statement or to make the right statement at an event like this?
I think that both what the Formula One driver did and what AOC did was fantastic. I mean, this is the mess. These are the people in power. These are the people with the money. You take the message to them. And, AOC, years ago there was a trend with juicy couture, like bottoms where all the women were running around town with the word juicy on their butts. And it's like, if you're going to make if you're going to make the entire world read your butt, let's make it a nice message. Let's make it a statement. And AOC's got a nice butt. Let's face it. People were reading that butt. And to everyone else on the panel's point, my favorite part is that this had every conservative talk show host frothing at the mouth, and there was veins popping in their temples, and they were like, ah! And I was like, every time I see a conservative talk show host just like look like they're about to have an aneurysm on the air, I'm like, whatever made that happen, more of that, please.
Let's be honest. You know that the real outrage is they probably were not invited to the Met Gala, and they would definitely be going if they were invited, right?
Yes. 100%.
Exactly.
100%.
Dean, I got to ask you this, though, because there's another interesting dynamic at play here. Tax the rich, we may remember it. It's not too long ago. It actually started with the Occupy Wall Street movement. We're celebrating, or at least acknowledging, that it's been 10 years since that movement. How much has changed in the last decade for, if you want to call it, economic justice in this country?
First of all, can I just say about Lewis Hamilton? Eamon, next Met dinner, you should buy a table for all Muslims in the media and have us all sit with you. And so you're sort of helping us the same way Lewis Hamilton. I'm just saying.
You think I make Lewis Hamilton money? You think I get paid like Lewis Hamilton? Come on, bro.
Look, come on, you're a big star. Your name was on the show. It's Eamon.
I got a GoFundMe page.
We'll do that too. I'm not above that at all. And look, is there social economic justice? Where in this country? We have more disparity after the pandemic, where billionaires, as President Biden just pointed out this week, got richer. We all know this during the pandemic, and they're paying no tax. There are teachers and firefighters paying more taxes than billionaires. There's been nothing. Our tax code has not changed in any way except for a tax cut for the wealthy in 2017, courtesy of Michael Steele's party, the GOP. So you had that going on. That's the only tax change I see. You have the income the credit now for people with children under the sweeping plan they had, but nothing. There's no justice. There's nothing been really resolved to close the gap. We need it. Tax the rich, like AOC said.
Michael Steele, speaking of taxing the rich, you had SpaceX just completing another first. You got tourism mission to space. This one, I think, all civilians. What's your take on this billionaire space race? I know that right after you get your Met Gala invite, you plan on going to space on one of these rides, right?
That's
Michael Steele's perfect week would involve going to the Met Gala on Monday and then flying to space on Friday.
Absolutely. That works for me. No, I'm not a fan. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of this at all. I think that this whole episode is fraught with a lot of problems that no one is paying much attention to. There's a lot of goo goo gaga over the fact that this is happening. But I really think we need to pay a little bit more attention to what's involved here, what's at stake here. Don't mind the private-public partnerships working with NASA, but I really think the fact that you've got this being driven by a very, very small subgroup of individuals, subset of Americans who can afford to do it, who will be charging other Americans untold hundreds of thousands of dollars to take part in this activity. And please don't believe this crap that, some blue-collar worker in 15 or 20 years is going to be able to take his family on a weekend vacation to the moon or a trip around the earth. That ish ain't happening. So, this idea that they're going to be bringing the prices down and this is going to be affordable is crap-ola. Will not happen. This is another sort of one-off for very, very high-end wealthy people who will be able to afford this. I think a lot of the scientific research, a lot of the important probative work that should be NASA-centered should be driving this exploration, not the idea that we're taking Disney World and Mickey Mouse to space.
Helen, what do you think Dean's going to do first? Get to the Met Gala or get to outer space? Both are long shots.
I just say, going to outer space. I hasn't seen yet.
What was that, Dean?
I was going to say quickly, these guys are so bored with this planet because they've seen everything. There's parts of New Jersey I haven't seen yet, okay? I just want to go to Jersey.
I mean, if billionaires taking joyrides in space is not evidence that we need to tax the rich, I don't know what is. By the way, Eamon, can I just say I myself am wearing tax the rich underwear right now. My bra says tax the rich. My shoes say tax. Let's write tax the rich everywhere. If you guys are so rich and don't know what to do with your money so much that you're like, I don't know, just take a joyride in space.
So wait, joking aside, and Michael Steele, this is a bit of a serious question. Is it the word tax the rich that just triggers Republicans because they don't like having anyone who's rich pay their fair share of taxes, or should it be close the tax loophole so everyone pays taxes? Which you probably can't get that on a dress.
Let's be a little bit honest about this, where this narrative ultimately ends up. It's a great slogan to put on the back of a dress, and it's a great political statement. But that's the wrong statement, and that's the wrong approach. It's not about taxing the rich, because you can raise the corporate income tax, and you can raise the individual wealth tax to 39, 40% if you want to.
Yeah.
Guess what? The system is already still have built into it ways to avoid paying that tax.
Yeah.
So we increase the taxes on the rich. We lower the taxes on the rich. The only thing that really changes marginally is the degree to which they get to pay that because of all the internal structures that are still in place that allows them to avoid paying that tax. The tax on the rich that we're talking about here is a tax on investment, which doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. These individuals don't get income like a blue-collar worker does. They get investment income, and that under our code is not taxable. And to the extent that it is, it's very little. It's under capital gains, which was just reduced. So let's be clear about what we're talking about. This idea of taxing the rich is not taxing their income. You have to look at how they hold their investments, how those investments grow, what happens as in that delta, the difference, and the other aspects in which they can shield and protect their wealth.
Right now,
and like you said, that message is not going to fit on a dress.
I was going to say, right now, a designer somewhere in New York is taking Michael Steele's word and trying to compress it to fit on. All right, guys. Stay with me. We got a lot more. We got a lot more to discuss in just a minute. Coming up, of course. I know Dean's favorite subject of the week: Nicki Minaj under fire after sharing a personal anecdote that looked a lot like vaccine misinformation on Twitter. But how much responsibility should a celebrity bear when it comes to their tweets?